All right, I just hit record.
Wait a second. Let me grab coffee.
So welcome to WOI Unfiltered. This is our first episode, and I think we should just talk for a second about what is this podcast? What's the intention of it? What's our plan? The intention would be for this pod, talk a little bit about what's going on in the industry. Our specialty is in CPG. And it'll be interesting as we kind of go through different cultural moments in 2026 with what's happening to interject and kind of give our thoughts on either what a brand has done that either worked or didn't, or maybe something that we saw happening in the world where brands could have jumped on and taken, the lead and taken some action. So we'll kind of interject those pieces. And then, like you said, have some of our guests. Our podcast name, as you said, WOI Unfiltered. We did go through a bunch of different things. We've worked together for more than a decade. So work-wise was originally the first thing, but we don't want to alienate anyone.
It is for others as well. I think we want to shine a light on brands that can make a moment in time.
Yeah.
Right?
Brands that can make a moment in time and like carve their own path.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, to your point, like Spotify just created an app.
Yeah.
And it has
now
people now look forward to every year, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Same thing with, I just saw somebody post about Pantone color of the year.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I have to fact check this, but
What is the Pantone color of the year, please?
I think it's white this year.
Pure white?
I have to look into this. I think it was, I'm pretty sure it was white.
Interesting.
Point being, Pantone created this, and now everyone looks forward to it. Not just, designers, yes, like an interior designer posted about it. That's what I saw.
Yeah.
I think the creative industry that we work with, they look into it. There are other brands that jump onto this and often activate on
culture shaping, right?
Yeah. It is really cool to figure out how to create something like that. And I think both of us would say, having worked on different like trend reports and end of year reports with clients, it's not easy to do that. And it takes a couple years of consistency and just like following your gut that this is going to work after year 4 or 5.
Yes.
It takes a while to take off. So it is kind of cool to see that happen too.
Yeah.
Okay, wait a second. Before we get into our topic of the day, let's do a little recap. Would you like to start with how your week went?
Well, funny enough, Jake just watched the Charlie biopic documentary. And I had to understand, I had to be reminded how winning got in the ether. And he reminded me that it was a big national interview. Of course, now I'm forgetting the property. And he was cracked up and kind of all over the place. And because the interviewer was like, so how you been, Charlie? And it teed him up into like this total drug-induced craziness. And then at the end, he was like, winning, which then obviously became pop culture.
Became the thing. Yeah.
Yes. And now we still use it. So you're asking how my week went. I'm going to say I was winning. Okay. For the first week in December, per our last chat,
you're winning.
You were losing. I think that's what you will say, but I think I might have been winning. So yeah.
I mean, wait a second. We're not going to talk about me losing yet. Why are you winning, Em?
It's a busy time of year for moms especially, and I got a decent amount of stuff done while juggling all the balls in the air.
Okay.
And not really a ball dropped, which to me signifies winning.
Well, then I can also say that I won this week.
Oh.
So to fill our listeners in, my husband was traveling. Brian was traveling in London. So I was solo with the 3 kids all week.
Brutal.
But I have not missed a deadline. I still did the insane amount of volunteering that I somehow managed to sign up for in 1 week. I managed to not completely lose my shit on my kids and was level-headed at work. So while I feel completely drained of energy and exhausted, by your definition, Em, I can still say I won this week.
Well, which brings up a good point. What is the bar? What is the measurement, Dick?
Bar was survive this week. That was
Okay.
my measurement.
And it
was
changes.
survive and maybe not show everybody how much of a complete mess I was.
But I do think that's interesting. Could you do it with joy? That's a totally different.
I had moments of joy, but was I joyful all week?
Well, I'm not sure we'll win any week if that's going to be our measurement stick.
Yeah. Okay, wait. Let's talk about what's happening in our industry for a minute.
Crazy.
We have been ping-ponging. So it's flooding my LinkedIn channel. I'm sure it's flooding yours.
If I was on LinkedIn, I'm sure you're right. It would be flooding mine.
I actually had a conversation with one of our clients about this week as well.
Okay.
And I know we were ping-ponging about it like internally. So we're referring to the IPG, Omnicom Merger. And the news that came out this week was talking more about kind of how the merger is going to progress and the fact that they are cutting about 4,000 jobs.
Yeah. It's a ton. Mm-hmm.
I want to talk a little bit about like all the different things. I think we probably have a different perspective than, not the most, but I think we have a unique perspective, right? Because we both kind of grew up in an IPG company at Weber Shandwick.
Yeah.
Formative years. And we left with love for the company.
Yeah,
well, we
absolutely.
didn't leave on bad terms. So, wanting to see that and all of our friends who are still there be successful, I think kind of shapes our opinion a little bit. But then obviously we also have a small company that, has a very different approach than those other large companies.
Yeah.
I feel like what I keep thinking about is all the people, right? Like all the people we know and how this is going to impact them, especially around the holiday season.
Yeah.
And just like the fear, right? With the jobs and like people want to be able to take time off and enjoy it. I read something, in an article today that basically said like, if you produced for us / created revenue for us before December 2025, you shouldn't be very worried. And I kind of was looking at it like, wait a second. Okay. So we both led large accounts there, right? Yeah. And profitable accounts, right? So by those means, if we were still sitting there, or by that definition, if we were still sitting there, we should be quote unquote safe, right? And I don't think if we were still there, I would feel safe right now.
Well, yeah, technically. And then there's, the whole sort of dichotomy of leadership in the know and then your support staff, or however you want to say it, who probably doesn't really even know how to identify with that success. And there's probably a lot of questions and uncertainty across levels. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think anyone can feel safe.
I mean, when you talk
about
levels,
measuring sticks, Jenna.
And I think that when you're at such a large company, it's really hard to actually quantify if you're bringing in revenue, right? Like if you get handed a large account there, that's, call it $2 million a year, right? In fee. And it's flat year over year. Then did you produce because you didn't lose any business?
I would think not. I would think not.
No, because you didn't generate organic growth.
Right.
Like,
and there's already discretion among the definition.
Well, and then there's all the creatives who, like, they put out creative thinking, creative work. They work with the account teams to develop this stuff. It's out of their control. Once they've given the idea and helped bring it to life, like, if it's a success or not is not always dependent on them. If the account team has greenlit it and said, we think this is going to break through in earned media, it's on the account team side to actually generate the earned media.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's really unfair for the creatives, especially as you look at like the consolidation of some of the ad agencies, right?
Which is going to be another really big question mark in this entire thing. Yeah.
Like then you have people sitting there who have poured blood, sweat, and tears into this. And they're like, I produced a good idea. It's not my fault. It didn't, whatever it might be. Like,
Yeah, I know that
Mhm.
piece is interesting. Because it works both ways, right? Account can be fall guys too when the time
oh,
comes,
yeah.
even outside a huge announcement like this. Probably unfairly so. I think we've seen some of our comrades um fall to that discretion and discrepancy as well. Um, so yeah, but I think the answer is I don't think anyone can feel safe. I think it's hard to feel safe when you're just hearing this news and probably everyone's scrambling to understand what it means for their employee base as well. I don't think people actually know, right? It's like a train that is being
I
built as
know.
it's going.
It's funny because now that we do some internal comms, right? I'm also looking at it from that perspective of like,
Yeah,
what are the internal comms going out to the
right.
employee base? It's really hard in this time to convey any sort of like, you're going to be okay, right? But at the same time, you don't want everyone in panic. You need them to still produce good work while they're
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So that is an interesting challenge because we also know, right, that these big agencies, they don't have a very big internal comm structure. It's like one or
Right.
two people with leadership,
Yeah.
and leadership's dealing with everything else structurally. So,
That's probably the most important thing you can do right now
uh-huh, huh,
is
yeah,
your internal comms. And I think, these companies have been through the ringer already, right? There has been a year's worth of downsizing to get us to this point, and then there will be more.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and I mean, to your point, like we know people who have already been impacted.
Right.
We have team members who were impacted.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, Good, solid people who
Yeah.
just, I mean, let's be real. When they're looking at layoffs like this, they're looking at people at the top, right? They're carrying the highest
Oh,
salaries.
that's going to help the bottom line.
Exactly. So that is challenging and tricky too. I was selfishly thinking this morning, I'm just going to say it. like, you're going to have a lot of good talent floating out there.
Yeah.
Some of this good talent might go off and join another big agency. Some might go off and start their own thing. And then I was like, well, heck, we should reach out to some of this good talent.
Yeah.
They're probably old friends. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I do feel like part of the industry is going in that direction of these more boutique firms who can do same level work, but more efficiently, right? Like we do. And I would not be surprised if a decent amount of senior level people say, you know what, like, let me just give this a shot for a couple years and see.
Yeah. And I also think our model, it's resilient to a certain point
Yeah.
and in a great way. And we're not beholden to needing to go back into the office X days a week, right? Like that is a real quality of life offer.
Yeah.
That will never be us. And that's great. Um, there is security in it as well in terms of the flexibility and whatnot. A lot of people will be looking for that.
Yeah.
Because I do think that while there will be a mass exodus here, it might be the wake up call that many, many people need after running on the hamster wheel as fast as they have for as
Yeah.
long as they have.
So, hey, this is a shout out. Friends, it's not the end of your career. If you end up leaving one of these big agencies, call your old friends like us.
Yeah. Get it back.
Maybe join a smaller shop. I think you'll have a ton of fun.
We are very
No,
good at that, folks.
yes, we are. I am really curious to watch this unfold. And I do really hope that those who are impacted land on their feet quickly, right?
Yeah.
Because it's
Yep.
scary.
And
And
maybe
so,
take a little time, a little soul search.
a
Never
little
hurt
soul search,
anyone.
a little holiday vacation. I mean,
Yeah.
start the new year with a good tan and a little
Yeah.
breather and
Pep in
then
your step. Yeah.
jump back in
Yeah.
it.
Do
Uh,
you think, aside from culture, um, what is your POV on industry-wide? Is this going to be a good thing or will it be negative impact?
That's so hard to answer.
Yeah. And frankly, there's a lot of pros and cons.
We should ask chat what they think. This is too large of a thing with too large of multiple companies involved.
Yeah.
To not be a good thing overall. But I do think there's going to be an adjustment period as there always is. So I think
and that's going to be messy.
Yeah, I think it's going to be messy. And I think there's going to be a year or two of like, you know, tweaks and changes and ruffled feathers and some uncomfortable situations. But then, look, I mean, again, we came from these big companies. I personally think the big agency model is fabulous for some of the biggest companies out there that we work on, right? It makes complete sense. So in that way, like the dust will settle. We'll figure it out, you know, like the DDBs and all of that. We'll figure out how to integrate with the BBDO. Like it'll all work out. And then I do think that you're going to have some people who are let go who just wander off to the other big agencies. Yeah. And that's fine too. That'll bolster them. That'll bolster their talent base. And I mean, like we were in the large agency cycle for so many years. You see this happen every couple of years, not with the huge mergers, but every couple of years, there's kind of a mass exodus where a good amount of people leave and a lot of times they like kind of join up and go to another agency together. And then you have fresh talent come in and it's always a little bit uncomfortable and tenuous and all that. And then it settles.
It takes out. Yeah. For sure.
So I think that this will be interesting. I do think that Omnicom will be able to start implementing some cool things with AI and all of that. The pace is just a question, right? It's always a little harder for the bigger agencies to move quickly. And so that'll be a question.
But having the scale of all these, you know, verticals under one roof, after you get through the messiness of it all.
There's pluses and minuses, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So we'll see. And I also think, let's just say, like, a lot of the larger companies that are with them have put so many eggs in the basket that, like, it has to be successful.
Yeah.
There's no option.
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree, Jenna. I think ultimately it will be. You have a couple behemoths left left in the industry, and they can duke it out.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Basically Omnicom versus Publicis at that point.
What do you think this means for the small guys like us?
I'm hoping it's great. You know, I set a bar. That's how I learned to live life. And so I don't get out over my skis, but I do really think it leaves space for small, scrappy, efficient. Your point on personnel is a really good one. We've obviously been able to pull that lever to success and kind of bring on specialists because of what's happening in the big agency world. Our networks are big because of our time spent there. So I think we, being based on the East Coast and Midwest also, I think it's going to serve us well. But I think it's going to maybe take a little time to shake those trees out.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. Let's back up for a second. Let's go back into this naming discussion. So our goal is that after each of these little chats that we have after each episode, we kind of want to ask each other, like, what's our impact? Yeah. Whether it's what was your impact this week or what's your impact going to be this weekend or just, you know, related to the topic.
Yep.
Em, you want to go first?
Well, I was going to say the issue is, what is my answer this week? Well, it's our first time being involved in a year-end appeal campaign for one of our clients. I think on a very kind of client-driven business level, we actually saw numbers come in the form of monetary donations. Giving Tuesday was Tuesday. So it's actually a really phenomenal time to be asking that question because a lot of people are trying to drive impact in the moment. And we were able to see in very much black and white the impact we did drive. And guess what? Those numbers went up. And that was really cool to see. And that was based on our work, with our client. And I'm not sure I've been a part of recently in something that's been that easy to track on direct impact from a work perspective. That's the first one I have for you. If another one comes to mind, because I want to know what yours is, Jenna, I will let you know.
Love that. Yeah. And I do think I agree. That's been really cool to kind of see the immediacy, right? Of we sent 4 newsletters on Giving Tuesday and numbers jumped. Like it worked.
Yeah.
And that was really cool, right? To see comms translate to immediate monetary impact for a nonprofit. Mine is I'm going to go on the more personal side. So I co-lead my daughter's Girl Scouts troop, group of 2nd graders, and I have since they were in kindergarten. And this year we decided, this was actually with like the government shutdowns and all the SNAP news and all that. We decided to have the girls lead a food drive. And in a month's time, the kids were able to gather, I think it was 370 pounds of food to donate.
Wow.
Which, I mean, we don't do this all the time, so I don't have context of that, but that felt big. And it was really nice to see how the community came together for this.
Yeah.
It was also really nice to see all these young kids be so enthusiastic about supporting and helping and doing that work. Like they really wanted to be there sorting and organizing, and they understood that it was
layer of the impact.
Yeah.
That is amazing. And a very lovely layer to this question, especially given both of our perspectives this week.
Yeah.
I love it. Good job, Isla. Good job, Mama.
So there we go. We know our impact for the week, at least. Let's see what our impact is going into next.
Yeah.
Well, this was fun.
Very fun. Thanks, all.